Call the city council meeting to order. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Angeli.
Present.
Vining.
She's excused.
Germaine.
Here.
Lamore.
Here.
Felder.
Here.
Whitman. Here. Mayor Clark.
Here. Please rise for the invocation. Remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Grant us the strength to manage the challenges ahead and the wisdom to identify opportunities as we strive to serve our community. As we make decisions, grant us the gift of an open mind, the willingness to learn, and the humility to accept the ideas of others.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, first item, please.
The first item would be any amendments to the agenda.
Administration, I see no amendments. Council, no adjustments. Very well. Clerk, next item, please.
The next item is citizen comments not related to an agenda item.
On the agenda, we have an opportunity for those present here this evening to make comments at the beginning or at the end of the city council meeting. If you do wish to do so, just be mindful of the rules of the chamber on the time, and so others have the opportunity as well. Are there any those present here this evening that wish to make public comment? Next item, please.
The next item is a proclamation.
Thank you. I have a proclamation, and I'm just going to highlight it here because we have a activity regarding the Michigan Downtown Association, which will be in town on Thursday for I guess an anniversary and celebration of what they do. So the proclamation is there to present at this function coming up. I'll make some more comments about that location and time at the end of the meeting. But this really gives the mayor and the city council the opportunity to commemorate the 40th anniversary of the Michigan Downtown Association. So somebody said, well, why would that be here that we maybe start and kick this off for their anniversary? Well, it was when it was founded and first meeting was held in the city of Monroe at the Sawyer Homestead, and that's where they'll have their meeting as well here later this week. But the MDA, as it's called, it supports economic development in the state of Michigan. There's 190 units that members and organizations that participate. It's cities, villages, townships, principal shopping districts. We've had conversation about that. Chamber of Commerce, downtown development authorities, consultants and consulting firms, including the Monroe Downtown Development Authority as well. But the part of the proclamation here talks about how they provide a forum for members to engage in revitalization issues, educate members and the public, and implement comprehensive legal and financial instruments to make it better throughout the state of Michigan. So the resolution is honoring and welcoming them back to the Sawyer Homestead as they have their annual meeting here in the city of Monroe. And the proclamation will set February 6th, the day in which they meet, as the Michigan Downtown Association Day in the city of Monroe. So I don't know if there's any comments from council. I know that they've been active in the city here and around the state, and look forward to making that presentation personally on Thursday. Councilman Angeli.
Your Honor, just to shed a little bit more history on it. The reason why it started in the city of Monroe was Bob Donahue was one of the founding members of the Michigan Downtown Association, and Bob was a community planner that was employed by the city of Monroe. And with the approval of back then the mayor, council, and city manager, I think it was Tim Clifton, Bob put together the charter, and then reached out and found a couple other interested communities, and then they started the Michigan Downtown Association. Had their first meeting in Monroe at the Sawyer House. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where the 40th commemorative anniversary is going to be, at the Sawyer House. So they're coming back home to their roots. So Monroe should be proud that it was one of the key founding members of the MDA.
You know, it has a list of cities that are on here, and I know that some may not be attending that, so I think I'm going to read through those to give you how broad a perspective this was. Well, it was founded and started here in 1980, but it was Monroe, Traverse City, Saginaw, Kalamazoo, Bay City, Grand Rapids, and Flint. Those were the municipalities that and government organizations that started. I'm talking too loud. I think I set off somebody's Alexa or something here, which is good. and they know where the Sawyer House in Monroe is, hopefully. So it is good. It is welcoming to have them back. I know that it's been a couple of years or so. They held one of their special annual sessions at the Sawyer House. It was a pleasure to meet them then, and I'm glad to have them back. So I just want to give a little background to those that are present here this evening and those that are watching of another item which the city of Monroe kind of was the generator for, and that affects the entire state. So I'll talk more about the time and location later. Clerk, next item, please.
The next item is a presentation, item 2642, Christmas Magic in Monroe, Parade and Winter Wonderland presentation.
Great, thank you. Orestes Baez is here to speak with us from Monroe News. I know you have others with you. If you could introduce yourself and the others, and we'll talk about Christmas Magic in Monroe.
I'd love to.
In
Council
February.
members and Mayor, thank you for having us. As the Mayor mentioned, my name is Orestes Baez. I'm group publisher for Gannett in Michigan and president and publisher of the Monroe News. I'm joined this evening by someone who apparently needs no introduction, our regional editor, Ray Casonas, who will have a couple of comments to make later, and David Tursky, one of our senior team members and part of the parade committee. This Christmas, December 14th, we had our third annual Christmas Magic in Monroe. And if there's a picture that I would say exemplifies the event, I think that's a perfect one.
Nice and
Santa
pretty.
Claus on the antique fire truck in front of the First Merchants Bank. This is an event partnered with the city, and we can't thank the city enough for your help and participation, as well as the support of our sponsors, especially the DTE Foundation, Lazy Boy, and First Merchants Bank. In our third iteration, we had an event that started at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, free family fun, that we brought everyone together downtown in Monroe. The weather was fantastic. Here are some pictures from the parade. Obviously, if you came or if you heard about it, we had free carriage rides. Certainly, we had music in the vendor village. We had wonderful lighted floats. We had over 60 floats there as well. And you can see the smiles that we brought to the people of Monroe and that came to visit us for the parade. The parade route went against traffic down Front Street and turned at Merchants Bank, where it went through a Winter Wonderland Village. We had free carriage rides. We had ice skating on a fake ice rink. We had music. We had a vendor village. We had a picture pavilion for Santa. We had 4 food trucks. We had just a fantastic, fantastic evening. We started over in the staging area behind Front Street and rolled down the street. If you don't know, the parade length mimics the parade length of the original Disneyland parade in California, which was 0.3 of a mile. As I mentioned, we had 60 lighted parade entries, a vendor village, live music and hot chocolate, food trucks, a live nativity scene, free carriage rides, public restrooms, spectacular weather, fantastic weather. We had 30 gas heaters deployed along the route to provide heat and comfort for those that felt it too chilly. Santa was great in the picture pavilion. My first experience is seeing ice skating on fake ice skating material, but apparently everybody had a great time from what we could tell. And then Santa coming in on the antique fire truck, all free with a strong royalty and presence. We had lots of royalty in the parade. Our sponsors were great partners with us again this year. We had over 100 local volunteers. Again, DTE Foundation, First Merchants Bank, Lazy Boy, and the City of Monroe were great partners for us, as well as those that we illustrated here, as well as the police and the fire departments. They were great help with us. I did speak to Detective J.D. Wall before the meeting just to make sure, but we had no crowd incidents, no problems, other than having to redirect traffic, no issues with the evening. We had a short incident with the St. Mary's championship team that showed up on a flatbed trailer that wouldn't have made the turn at Merchants Bank. So JD persuaded them to figure out a different solution, and they came back 2 hours later, participated in the parade, and we're very happy to do so. So that was about the extent of it. Again, family friendly, great community partnership, no incidences, extensive media coverage. We had not only the Monroe News and 98.3 Nash and Impact TV, but also ABC 13 Toledo, as well as Wild Region coming. And I'd like Ray to come up and talk a little bit about what this new world of ours with Gannett will do for parade coverage and some of the parade coverage. Ray?
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Casonas.
Council. As you can expect, there was quite a advance amount of publicity from the Monroe News on this parade in Wonderland. With Gannett, well, first of all, we are part of a group of 9 papers around Michigan. We share content continuously. So we always are ready to let them know, the other papers know what's going on here. We don't all just are in Monroe, we go to other places too. So this was an excellent opportunity for us to share that information and let people from other communities know. They came from other communities, we know that. With the merger of Gannett, we now are partners with the Detroit Free Press. That means the Free Press enjoys much content that we provide, and that means the publicity for this next year's event will be that much more enhanced. So more papers, more coverage, more good things to say about Monroe. That's what I'd like to hear. Mr. Arcangeli, I'm sure you have a question. Nothing.
I'm very impressed with the parade. Yeah.
Thank you, Ray.
Okay.
Wonderful.
David Tursky, join us for a second and talk
Yes.
a little bit about the sponsorship.
Excellent.
Thank you. To what Mr. Baez was saying, it's great to have the local community support, all the local businesses that get involved with us, specifically DTE Foundation, Lazy Boy, talk about First Merchant Bank. It allows us to grow the parade. It allows us to put on new events. To OB's point, the faux ice got a little bit bigger this year. We hope to make it a little bit larger next year. The community support from a sponsorship level allows us to do some great things, to go from 2 food trucks to 4 trucks, to keep moving it up in a different way. So we look to partner with more communities, more businesses within the community, and we look to grow the sponsorships so that we can grow the event and try to bring as much joy around Christmas as possible. Thank you.
Well, thank you, David. Look at the slide that's up there now with your the sponsors, and of course your major sponsors and all the sponsors. It just seems to grow, and there's many opportunities for others to be a participant as we move forward too. But just some impressive names up there. So thank you.
And we're hopeful that the consistency, we'll be doing it the 4th year this year, that it encourages other folks to participate. I'm sure, at the start there were folks that were like, well, we'll wait and see how it goes. And, if you've been with us now, we get 8,000 to 10,000 people to come downtown. It's free. It's family friendly. We bring everybody together. It's totally inclusive. It's just a great way to showcase Monroe and the people of Monroe and the things that we do in Monroe. So we're very happy to be part of it, and we're very happy that it continues to grow. We are about a month away from starting the 2020 conversation. The date has been selected as December 12th. This past year, we were in competition with 3 other Christmas events on the same night. I think the funny part of it was Bedford was having a Christmas event that night, but the Bedford High School marching band was at our parade. So apparently we're a lot more fun than that. So they joined us. So we will start the conversations again. We've talked about what other things we can do to enhance it. Some of our ideas probably would scare you, so I won't share them with you. But we want to continue to make it interesting, entertaining, family friendly, and free. And to showcase Monroe. So that's really our goal that we want to continue to do, and we'll continue to do that. There's a fine picture of the mayor being interviewed by ABC Toledo 13 on the night of the event. And so we will look to do December 12th, 2020, and we'll get the special event permit letter request on its way. And so we are looking forward to doing it once again. So I will stop there for questions and comments.
Questions from council or any comments?
Oh, it's great.
I'll just say thank you for being here. It's always nice to have the review because, as many can remember the parade and all the entries and seeing people and walking and more so maybe some of the children, maybe their first or multiple opportunities. But looking forward, I know that as from the city, and I speak on behalf of the administration and the city council, that we look forward to the correspondence as we start that conversation, with our departments, and so they can weigh in, so we can hear those great ideas.
Great.
And how we get to yes to make it just another Christmas Magic and Monroe parade here. So thank you.
Yeah, we actually enjoy it so much. We're trying to figure out how to do this in other cities in Michigan, so I haven't quite figured that one out yet. So it is a unique relationship that we have with the city and with the community, with the first responders that help us out so much that night. So I'm not sure we can replicate it, but other folks have taken notice and are interested as well. So
Wonderful.
we might be the beginning of some great things to do with that. So with that, I will conclude our presentation, and the magic continues in
Continues.
2020.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you all. We're going to just take about 30 seconds here because I know that their time and other things they may have as well that we move to the agenda. Clerk, the next item, please.
The next item is item 2669, public hearing for proposed ordinance 20-001. Public hearing, you want me, I can go ahead and read the description if you'd like.
Yeah, please do that. Thank you.
Public hearing to receive and review comments on proposed ordinance 20-001, an ordinance to amend chapter 22, boards, commissions, authorities, and committees. And it's to add Article 12, Telegraph Road Corridor Improvement.
Thank you. This time, I'll open the public hearing regarding 2669, the proposed ordinance 20-001. Any comments from those present here this evening? Seeing no comments, I'll close the public hearing. And clerk, next item, please.
The next item is under council action. Item number 2651, proposed ordinance 20-001, an ordinance to amend chapter 22, boards, commissions, authorities, and committees to add Article 12, Telegraph Road Corridor Improvement Authority, up for its final reading.
Thank you. I'm going to see if Mr. Pastu, if there's any, I know we've had a couple opportunities to discuss this as a council, and I just wonder if there's any final comments, administration, others before us.
Nothing more to add than the past, Your Honor. It's a section of the code that the Corridor Improvement Authority would mirror some of our other boards regarding the structure, talking about the structure of the board bylaws that come back before the city council and the authority that they have to provide service.
Very good.
Your Honor, I'll move to adopt ordinance 20-001 to amend Chapter 22, Boards, Commissions, Authorities, and Committees regarding the establishment of the Telegraph Road Corridor Improvement Authority.
There's a motion by Council Michelangelo, supported by Councilwoman Whitman on item 2651, proposed ordinance 20-001 as stated.
So this motion is to put it on the floor for its
Correct.
final reading, correct?
Yes.
All right, I just wanted to get that in there
Yes.
on the record. All right.
Please call the roll.
Councilperson Ikuangeli? Yes. Germaini?
Yes.
Lamore?
Yes.
Felder?
Yes.
Whitman?
Yes.
Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Ordinance 20-001, Chapter 22, Boards, Commissions, Authorities, and Committees, Article 12. An ordinance to amend Chapter 22, Boards, Commissions, Authorities, and Committees to add Article 12, Telegraph Road Corridor Improvement Authority of the Code of the City of Monroe. The City of Monroe ordains.
Shall this ordinance pass?
Councilperson Ikuangeli?
Yes.
Germaini?
Yes.
Lamore?
Yes.
Felder?
Yes.
Whitman?
Yes.
Mayor Clark?
Yes. Next item, please.
Item 2665, appointments to city boards and commissions.
As we had last meeting, there was boards and commissions. There were many on the list. Still have some to fill some remaining appointments. One was to the Board of Review, which was on this evening's agenda, and the other one is related to the ALCC board in relationship for them working together with MCOP at the center. We kind of talked about that at the last meeting, and I know that some of the council members have an interest as well. But thinking about items that may come before the council that might be related to some contracts, expenditures, talking with the city manager as the appointment or his designee, could be a staff person, how his schedule permits, but doesn't prohibit a council member the ability, as long as there's not a quorum, to attend and see some of those discussions as well as, I won't say necessarily as a liaison, but of interest as it comes back to us. So those are the two appointments, and I anticipate we'll have a couple other to catch up with at the next meeting as well. Any questions? Then there's need a motion to.
Your Honor?
Yes, Councilman Lamore.
That we approve the resolution of making appointments to various city boards and commissions.
Support.
Motion by Councilman Lamore, supported by Councilwoman Germaine on item 2665, appointments to city boards and commissions. Clerk, please call the roll.
Angeli? Yes. Germaine?
Yes.
Lamore?
Yes.
Felder?
Yes.
Whitman? Yes. Mayor Clark?
Yes. Next item, please.
The next item is the consent agenda, and for item B, approval of payments to vendors, the amount should read $537,045.60, 537045.60.
Thank you. Are there any items on the consent agenda that council wishes to have pulled for further discussion? Any items on the consent agenda? Seeing none from council, are there any items on the consent agenda those present here this evening wish to have pulled for further discussion? Any items from those present here this evening? Seeing none, a motion would be in order. Councilman Felder.
I move that all items on the consent agenda be accepted, placed on file, and any recommendations carried out.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Felder, supported by Councilman Lamore, that all items on the consent agenda be accepted, placed on file, and carried out.
Councilperson Angeli? Yes. Germaine?
Yes.
Lamore?
Yes.
Felder?
Yes.
Whitman? Yes. Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Items, Your Honor.
Council comments, it's February. Councilman Angeli.
Just two quick comments, Your Honor. One, I took note of the Downtown Development Authority's approval to convert the lights downtown to LED, which I think is a good move, both from energy savings and cost savings, but also from an aesthetic point of view. And then I would like to thank the mayor and city manager for hosting the strategic planning session that we had on Saturday that was facilitated by Eastern Michigan University. I thought it was a very productive day for everybody with some good results. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Councilwoman Germaine.
I'm very happy that the groundhog is going to predict an early spring. And aside from that, I'm pleased that the Quattro family is investing in Monroe and opening the restaurant next to Panera. I'm very happy about that.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Lamore.
Yes, Your Honor. Very happy to see Eastern Michigan down here helping us with some of our goals and objectives. I was day on Saturday, and I look forward to seeing their results. That's it, Your Honor.
Thank you. Councilman Felder.
Was appreciative of the goals and objectives session and for all those Eagles coming down. As a fellow Eagle, it's nice to see some of those master's students coming out of that poli-sci program that I myself was in not too long ago. It was very clear at the goals and objectives session that we have outlined many challenges that the city has to tackle, and it's becoming increasingly apparent how important these next 2 years are going to be to the success of the city. And I just look forward to tackling those in the coming term.
Excellent. Thank you. Councilwoman Whitman.
I too want to thank the U of M for coming down. I thought I was amazed with some of the things that we came up with, and looking forward to the whole plan being put together for a strategic plan. I'm also very happy about that groundhog. That's enough to perk us all up. And I think that's about all I have. Thank you.
Very good. So just a couple comments, a couple announcements, keep things on people's calendar. I'll just start as a really kind of follow up to Councilman Angeli's with some of the movement forward with the DDA and some of the initiatives, as well as the action he mentioned about the changes all in for the at one time for the street conversion, the light conversion, I should say. But on Wednesday, February 5th at 6 p.m. Here at City Hall on the third floor, the DDA budget work session is being held. I know that I'll be there, and we'll receive information as a council as well. But if there's interest to hear or listen,
What's the date?
it's Wednesday, February 5th, 2 days,
What
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
at City Hall, third floor. And there are some materials that Annette Knowles has put out for the board and for available for our discussion. It really kind of sets the pathway, just as we had our goals and objectives, which were commented on Saturday. This is the budgetary review for the board. so they can submit a budget to the council for our review and approval to adopt into the upcoming fiscal year as well. Also, on the following day, I already kind of spoke to it a little bit at the beginning of the meeting, but Thursday, February 6th at 3 p.m. And it's the association, more making an announcement again. We've, I think, talked to why they're here and what that's about. But for council members, if they wish to stop by and your schedule permits on Thursday, the 6th at 3 p.m., the Michigan Downtown Association will be at the Sawyer Homestead for a short period of time, just to kind of renew their organization for the next 40 years. So next meeting, as we always say when we have a holiday that comes up, that we will not be meeting 2 weeks from today on a Monday. Our meeting will be Tuesday, February 18th. Monday is Martin Luther King Day. I think we talked about this at some of our one of the last meetings. It's really an opportunity to reflect on the life of Martin Luther King, what he means to not to our entire country, and moving forward together and inclusiveness, and how we learn to share our space together and learn about all of our in our community. So, but with that, there is the African American History Month begins as well. And I know there's many events that might go on in certain locations of independent organizations, but as the Monroe Community College always does, has a February event, and there's a list of items. I'm not going to read all of them, but they have on their website currently 6 different opportunities between February 5th and February 29th, which ends with the Big Gig blues concert. But there's other things that are really about conversation, discussion, and learning all of our history. So I recommend you go to the community college's website to look for the posting for their February events, the Series 2020. And with that, I think that's all I have to say for this evening. Clerk Treasurer Lavoy.
I just have a quick comment about the absentee ballots. They have been placed in the mail, the bulk mailing. When you receive them, they'll look a little bit different than they have in the past. They'll be in a blue and white envelope as opposed to the standard government issue manila envelope. So they will look a little different. They may look like political mail, they may look like junk mail, but we're encouraging everyone to look twice and not throw it away. Your ballot would be in there. And then the envelope for you to return it in is also very different. It's green and white. And those were all designed to hopefully help us move through the postal system a little bit more quickly and with less challenges. I will say that the post office around election time sometimes gets knocked around a bit in terms of service because we do sometimes have trouble with our absentee ballots. But they've been very proactive this election. In fact, they called from Pontiac this morning. We have a designated representative from the Postal Service to call and ask us proactively if we're having challenges, and immediately took care of a few issues that have come up. So I just kind of wanted to give a shout out to them because they do a lot of heavy lifting for the elections, and I don't know that they always get some of the credit they deserve. And then finally, going into 2020, we're really busy, but I wanted to take a moment. Bob Schnurr and Mark Baker have both retired respectively from Monroe Township and Frenchtown. And they were quite helpful when I first came on board 6 years ago. There's a lot of institutional knowledge about elections that goes away with them. And as elections become increasingly difficult across the state, we're seeing some attrition among clerks. And I think we all need to keep moving forward, but it's also always a loss when you lose some of that and some of that experience. So I wanted to thank them for what they gave me and what they gave to the county and their constituents during their terms of service.
Thank you. I know council wishes them the best as well, and as they move forward. And it's not just here in the Monroe region. I know Clerk Lavoy and I have chatted. You look around the state, and opportunities within that field of service is opening in a fashion that many type of jobs. There's a lot to learn and a lot to do, and it's a high responsibility. But there's maybe paths for others that think they want to get into governmental service, but also in a role such as that. It's a very good career, Sue. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Pastu, any comments?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Very well. This time, is there any comments from those present here this evening for the public comment period? Seeing none, we do have one item remaining, so we'll need a motion.
Your Honor, I move that we go into executive session for the purpose to discuss land acquisition.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Kalanish, supported by Councilman Lamore, to go in closed executive session regarding land acquisition. Clerk, please call the roll.
Angley?
Yes.
Germaini?
Yeah.
Lamore?
Yes.
Felder? Yes. Whitman? Yes. Mayor Clark?
Yes.